I'm here in Boone, North Carolina with the Mayor of Boone, Tim Futrelle. We're here to do an interview talking about modern Boone, the future of Boone, and how government works in relation to Watauga County.
All right.
So we have a simple starter question here. So what is the best season for Boone's tourism economy? The cool fall and football months, the snowy winter months, or the warm spring and summer months?
The warm spring, summer months are obviously longer. They're a little bit longer seasons for us, so that's nice. And we do get a lot of folks up here that want to escape the heat from down south. A lot of folks visit from Florida and stuff, and Georgia, South Carolina. Yeah, so and that's a great thing, of course. Fall has definitely got to be our biggest season, though, and October is our biggest month across the board. We've got leaves. It's just beautiful here. Leaf season is in full effect in October, and we do have football season, of course.
I love football season.
I do too. Yeah, App State is an amazing university, and we're so thankful to have them, and their football team just does great every year, regardless of what the record says.
Last year was fun. There were some of the games were just really fun, like the JMU game.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that a lot.
They were super fun to watch, and a few heartbreakers, unfortunately. But God, when we get so close, and then we just can't quite get it, But ever since I've been a student here, I mean, we've drawn a crowd. That was when we won three consecutive national titles.
I saw that it said you graduated in 2010.
I did. Yep.
Wow, that's a long time ago. I mean, it's not that long ago compared to like the history. But it's really neat because I had a lot of my professors, some of them like graduated in like 1980, and they're like telling us about like how Upstate was like all the long ago.
Yeah,
and it's like it's a weird concept to be like you went to the same exact school, and here I am just like 50 years later, and it's all the exact same. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, and I'll tell you, when I was going to school up here, it was about 15,000 students, and now if you count graduate students, full enrollment. And really a lot of folks that have to do with the university, and I mean we're easily adding almost 25,000 people to.
Yeah.
And there's not quite 20,000 full-time residents in Boone.
Yeah, I saw that. It's like the population of the school is larger than the town itself.
Yes.
Like I go to the school and I don't live in Boone. I live in Charlotte, but it's like most of the year I'm here in Boone. It's really fascinating to see that, especially like with voters and stuff like that, where you have like a whole separate demographic that doesn't even live here, but they still, have to deal with the town stuff.
And that doesn't count a lot of the support for App State that actually lives outside of the county or even outside of town a little bit, and coming into the area from there. So
like for game days, I know like some of the stands have like 30,000 people.
Oh my gosh!
And you got to deal with all those people coming to the towns. It's bit mind-boggling.
Yeah, the UNC game, we broke records, over 40,000.
I saw that on TV, yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I was there.
Yeah. But October for sure, and fall was, and of course going into winter, a lot of folks come up here for ski season too. So
dude, I love skiing.
We are officially a year-round town.
That's what's nice about this place. Like beach towns, it's only, summer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start the modern town question section. This is the bulk of the interview here. So this first question is, in my research, there was a recurring theme of Boone and the surrounding counties being the lost provinces of North Carolina. Yeah. To what degree do you believe that mentality still exists?
A lot, and it a lot of that comes from that culture that is so ingrained. I mean, a lot of folks did come here to escape. Not just so they could do whatever they wanted, but so that they could feel like they were free to live here and free to live by their own means and by their own standards, which none of them were bad. And for the most part, anyway, I can't say none of them. I wasn't there, but yeah, the lost province mentality I think still exists. It's funny, we even have a restaurant here downtown called Lost Province.
I think I've seen that, yeah.
I've known those folks for years and years, and we've been good friends for a long time. But it is permeated through, and it still stands. We'll get, a lot of folks who work and find their livelihoods or even just come into Boone to visit. From outside of town, still in the county, or maybe just from the surrounding area. They bring that mentality to Boone too,
Yeah.
and I think it has a lot to do with kind of our free spirit. And there's this thing that you can't quite put your finger on when you come to Boone, but it just makes you love being here and makes you. I think it helps you feel comfortable while you're here, and I think that is part of it. Is that there's a real free spirit here. There's a real idea of being yourself, and that confidence I think shows through, and so I think it still lives and thrives here in Boone, honestly.
And then I have a sub question for that.
Mhm.
So this is specifically like, how has the response to Hurricane Helene shaped this theme where it occurs in this part of the state and it doesn't really affect the rest of the state as much as it did with us in Asheville and you know Eastern Tennessee and stuff like that.
Well, I'll tell you what. I can tell you this for sure. I mean, Helene shaped me. It was quite an experience. I hope to God I never see some of these things again,
Yeah.
or that some of us see it again. But getting back to that mentality, just an amazing thing happened. Is that regardless of anyone's circumstance, who they were, who they knew, what they were doing, where they stood, everyone came together. And that's, I talk about the individual spirit and the free spirit, but that sense of taking care of one another also, back in the day, I mean, folks still needed networking. They still needed community. And the way that community came through, everyone who loves this place believes that this is theirs too, and they all came together. And excuse me, it makes me a little emotional.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Crazy.
But that mentality and what folks were able to come together and do was just an amazing testament to who we are.
Yeah. And also, I didn't know that your office, I thought your office would be on the second floor.
Yeah.
So last semester, I had like my first year class. We met right there by the Veterans Memorial many times. And I saw Town Hall and I would just look up and I'm like, the office is probably on the second floor, right?
Mm-hmm.
But being here, I mean, I saw down there, like when we were on the day of the hurricane, me and my friends, because we lived on campus, we just walked around King Street.
Oh, wow.
Those buildings were like underwater. Did this office get any damage or anything from the water?
Just very minimal
Just on the sides
damage.
and stuff?
Yes, it was mainly just around the perimeter.
That's
so
nice.
we're very fortunate.
Yeah.
We did have to deal though with utility failures and things like that. So
Yeah.
so fortunate to be able to still work out of the office here to help.
So this next question is this is a fun one, as my political science professor would say.
Right. Yeah.
So in my home city of Charlotte, power between Mecklenburg County and the city is relatively co-unanimous.
Mm-hmm.
To that extent, what is the balance of power like between the town of Boone and Watauga County?
Wow. So up until probably the last 3 or 4 years, it has been contentious. And there has been a lot of back and forth, unfortunately. And that I thought and believed was unnecessary whenever I came in to office. And from 2008 to 2012, I sat on the county commission, actually. So I was a county commissioner for 4 years. So I'd actually sat in their seats, and I knew what they were going through. So I tried to leverage that, and I tried to leverage some of the relationships that I had in the county to help try and build a stronger bond. And there are multiple reasons for that, but the main reason is that if you get along better, then obviously you can get more things done, right?
Yeah.
But another aspect of that is the power dynamic, and I think through good relationships and strong relationships, you kind of level that playing field a lot. People don't feel like they have to leverage what power they have in order to influence you in a way that maybe would be uncomfortable for you. I'm not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing all the time, But what I'm saying is that through those conversations and that relationship, so many more things can be ironed out. It can be so much. It can be much more of a smooth, you know, working relationship in whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. And so I just believe that through good working relationships, you can kind of smooth that power dynamic out in a way to where it's not so obvious. Now, one big point of contention here has been the sales tax. So the county has the power to leverage sales tax.
What is the sales tax here in Boone?
So right now, what do you mean? Like
Just
how,
like
how much revenue
any
is it?
percent.
Oh, well, the town of Boone, I can put it this way. So the town of Boone easily makes up 75 to 80% of the sales tax revenue in the county.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get we are the
Because the rest of
economic
the county
engine.
is very like
Very
not-
rural.
except for like the tiny part like Blowing Rock and
Yes.
stuff like that. It's,
Blowing Rock is thriving. They have
Yeah.
they have a thriving local economy. Banner Elk and Seven Devils in their own
Yeah.
right have.
and then I thought they were in Avery County, or is that just like Beach Mountain?
So Beach Mountain is partially in Avery and Watauga. So
Yeah, because I like skiing in Banner Elk, so I
Yeah.
remember I like the drive there it's in my head.
yeah,
But
that's the highest point east of the Mississippi. So.
it's very fun.
Yeah,
Except for the giant building that they put on top of the mountain.
Well, you know, there's an act of Congress, or an act of the General Assembly anyway, because of Sugar Top.
For the NC General stuff? Oh my god. They need to remove
They
it.
said, well, no, they said that it would never happen again.
Yeah,
basically.
I did see that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and as far as removing it is concerned, unfortunately, that's a whole nother ball. I'm sure many people who should be able to do it have tried to do it. And
Yeah.
it's still there.
Because it's kind of just like
yeah,
physical building there. You have to like just, you know.
yeah.
So the sales tax, because that's a county thing, from what I would assume. I guess a law.
Well, it's a county thing that heavily affects the municipalities. So it's split into percentages, but they're even percentages the way they're split amongst because the county gets a cut and then it goes back to the municipalities. Okay, the rest of it will go back to the municipalities. Anyway, without getting formulaic, the percentages that are redistributed back to the municipalities are even. Well, as we see it, you know, being the economic driver, I mean, we think that those percentages should be different and that they should definitely benefit Boone. So that has been a point of contention, but that's something I've been discussing with county commissioners. It's unfortunately a heavily political decision for them, primarily because they have to deal with they have to work with rural fire districts, which also get a percentage of the sales tax revenue. Again, it's kind of it's really super complicated the way they did it, which is another reason why I think it should be changed. It could be a lot simpler.
And then fire and police are town things, right? Or at least for the town of Boone, because...
So we have a fire department and we have a police department. And then you also have rural fire districts, which are, like the
Fosco.
local fire department. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, because I drive through that on Banner Elk, so I see the giant Fosco Fire District sign, and I'm like...
Yeah, and they have a nice one, actually.
Yeah.
And then there's the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's Blowing Rock PD and others.
Because for me, obviously, you have CMPD, which is Charlotte-Mecklenburg, so a lot of things, like the police, the fire, medics, the schools, it's all like joint between the city and the county, just because the county only has like 200,000 people more than the city, and the city is almost at 1 million.
Right.
So it's like you have, there's no point in, not merging the big like police force.
So there's that many people in Mecklenburg County, huh? Yeah. Wow, I didn't realize that.
We just, a new statistic, we're the 14th largest city in the nation now.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I knew Charlotte, of course, as but I felt like it was more like Boone is kind of in relation to Watauga County, where
Kind of. So on the map, it's basically from the western to the eastern part of the border. It's pretty much all of that.
mm-hmm.
It has the south, except a tiny bit. It's like Pineville, and then on the side is Mint Hill on the east, and then up north of the county, it's basically like the county's kind of shaped like that.
Mm-hmm.
That whole like northern tip is not Charlotte at all. It's like lake towns. You got Lake Norman up
Like
there,
Concord.
Kannapolis, Concord. Well, Concord and Kannapolis are in Cabarrus County, but
Yeah,
that's basically where they are. And then you have the southern part, which is Fort Mill, Indian Land. That's in South Carolina, but it's still like, because it's just a big circle, so it's like a whole deal, just with all of the like coordination.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah.
That's really cool.
Okay, so we're back for second part. So this next question, this is the citizenship and the community merit badge question. So
Cool.
I do this series, I'm calling it like merit badge debrief, because I got Eagle Scout, but I didn't do a lot of badges. So now as my what I want to do for scouting, I want to make a bunch of videos, like 134, because there's 134 merit badges where I
Awesome.
don't just teach the merit badge in terms of a lecture, I actually do the merit badge and like show it on camera and explain it and interview someone actually that lives that life, right? Because there's like a bunch of different topics like space exploration and like knitting and mining.
That's awesome.
So
That's so cool.
this question is, later this summer I'm making a video about the citizenship and the community merit badge.
Mm-hmm.
What do you as mayor believe people can do to drive quick, impactful change in their communities?
Well, the first thing is participate. And what I mean by that is at least in the election cycles, look into who the people are that want to represent you and vote responsibly. If we can at least do that, I think that would be very helpful for everyone involved. Obviously, the more participation you get, the more people you get involved, the more interests you share, and the more interests that are represented. So I mean, it's we'll have a more well-rounded society, I feel like, and we'll still have the same look. Even if you, so for example, the council is all Democrats. We're all pretty progressive-leaning Democrats, right? So, but that doesn't mean that we agree on everything. We don't. We run into a lot of contentious issues, but and so you would still have that, right? But I feel like, I would mind having more conservative-minded people on the council.
Yeah.
Or not. I'm not disparaging my council at all, of course. But I mean, I'm saying it would just be it would be enlightening to have those perspectives as well. So, full participation. I think that's something all political science would want us to aspire to.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny I'm framing it this way, but at the same time, I mean, I think that's, and a lot of people just say pay attention, right?
Yeah.
Well, but what does that mean? So read the paper. People pay attention all the time.
There's also this like whole aspect, specifically in terms of scouting, where we obviously want to encourage people to do good with community service. It's very, very like simple. Just saying, go do some community service. But from what I've seen, like it does a large impact. We have annual events in Charlotte. You might have something similar here called Scouting for Food, where we like get like millions of pounds of like non-perishable food, and we donate it all and everything like that. So I know it's a simple answer to say just do community service, but is there any like large like groups that like do movement for community service? I know Samaritan's Purse, especially during Hurricane Helene, did a lot of service. Is that like continuous or?
Absolutely, yeah. Organizations. Well, yeah, and yes, joining an organization, of course, is a great way to do it. I mean, so we have everything from Lions Club to Rotary to organizations like Quiet Givers is a local organization here. That do exactly what it sounds like. They say who needs this the most, and then they give as much as they can, and encourage other people to. Blue Ridge Women in Agriculture, Children's Council. There's and other ways for people to join. There are other organizations that people can join that are civic minded, and so that, of course, the numbers that we can get. If we can get numbers higher there, that's of course that means many people
always
working
helps.
towards a goal. But that also affects government, right?
Yeah.
Because there are certain nonprofits that are community-based organizations, and those are the ones that we focus on. But we do what's called non-governmental allocation of certain percentage of the budget. What is left that we can spend outside.
So it's kind of like a donation
to outside agencies. Well, we see it as a grant. Folks apply, and if they meet all the requirements under the application, and then we see that is an organization that is doing good on behalf of the common good of the community, then we allocate funding to that. So and so I think you can see interconnectivity of all these things. That's one thing that I've always seen as so important, I think, for the community to understand is the interconnectivity, the intertwined nature of what it is that we do. Because from business and the economy to these civic organizations to the government itself to all these things they come together, and so and the representatives that we have are so important, and for us to be able to pay attention to that and act on it is vital.
Being important.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the tagline question. So when I first started doing the Boone series, it was over winter break. I was like, if I hypothetically interview the mayor, and back then it was like I don't think it's possible, and then obviously I'm here doing it. So it's actually amazing. Because I've done interviews, but I've never done something like this before. So you're actually going to be the first one on this new channel that I've started this year.
Oh, great.
So, and again, I don't really care if I make a lot of money on YouTube. Obviously, you can make a lot.
Oh, yes.
But it's very enjoyable
sure.
to just do this, and I'm still in college, so I'm doing this, it's a hobby. But this is the tagline question that I thought. So
okay.
Okay. As a mayor and a citizen, what do you believe the future of Boone holds?
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's really geez. I mean, the opportunities are abound. I mean, it's limitless, really, what we can do. I mean, I think what's important about that is one of the ways that I look at how I try to make decisions on behalf of Boone moving forward, which is a lot of what we do too, is how can Boone grow responsibly and still be Boone and still maintain its small mountain charm and its character and its that feeling that you get in Boone. And so that's a really difficult question, because I grew up down east, North Carolina. So if you want, I can take you on a tour of towns down east that decided not to grow. Right? They decided that they didn't. Oh, we don't want more people coming in. We don't want more. They didn't want it, and but unfortunately they're failing. Those towns are really having real difficulty, and that's why it's important for me to. We can never say, we don't. No more growth in Boone. No, we're big enough, right? Now, but what we have to say is, how can we grow responsibly, but not lose touch with who we are?
And I know one of the biggest challenges here, I talked about it a lot in my public administration class, is the fact that we're in a valley and we're surrounded by peaks that rise 1,000 feet on all sides. Mm-hmm. And you can only expand so much, especially if we want spread out buildings, parking and everything like that, good roads. You can't really just... You know what I mean? You can only do so much here until you just start expanding miles away.
No, that's right. So there's a thing. There was there was policy at one point in North Carolina that was there were areas that were called extraterritorial jurisdiction. Okay, and what that is that's area outside of a town where they're allowed to grow. They're allowed for growth, right? So your town could actually get larger. And what you do is you just have folks around the area and businesses. They slowly, as it fans out, they are annexed into the town, so they become part of the town.
Yeah.
So that's basically the way it works, and we provide services, right?
Yeah.
In 2010, unfortunately, that was taken away from Boone, and that was politically driven, unfortunately. And there are people who think that does not need to come back.
Was that taken away by the county or by the state?
By the state.
By the state.
Mm-hmm.
So now, like that, down the road past like the Chick-fil-A where it says Town of Boone, that's like the border.
That's it. Yep. Really? You've been in Watauga County, but now you're just in Watauga County. You're not in Boone anymore. And so, unfortunately, that leaves us with 6.5 square miles to grow within.
That's so tiny.
It is. It is very small.
Just the area in South Charlotte between like my schools is like 3 miles.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's just all suburbs.
Right. Yeah. So imagine that. Yeah. So two areas like that, and you got Boone. It's pretty. So where I have to watch myself is that when you get to a certain point of understanding how things work, there's so much that you can say, and I always want people to have as much understanding of things as they can, and for it to be broad and well-rounded, but sometimes I get
you also want to make
lost
it
in the minutiae.
You want to make it make sense. You know what I mean?
Right, and I also don't want people to fall asleep on me.
So the first question here is, how would you describe the work-life balance of being a mayor? I know I think I've seen that you did a lot of stuff, especially in response to the hurricane, that wasn't necessarily as mayor, was with like charitable organizations and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot. It is. It's a lot, and I do all this fully knowing what I'm taking on, right?
Yeah.
No, but I am the manager. I'm the store manager for the Watauga Habitat for Humanity Restore here in just outside of Boone. I have 3 daughters, and I've been married for almost 25 years. And I'm the mayor. So that's full rounded right there. Among all those things, yes, it's a very full schedule, and it's a lot of work, but it's a labor of love. I mean, I went into political science because I was interested. I initially started out as a psych major. And then I changed my major as I got into my electives.
I think you made a good choice, but that's just my bias. What do you know what concentration you did, if that was a thing like that?
Yes, it was pre-professional legal studies. Really? So I was on my way to law school, actually.
Because I'm doing the town concentration, like town management, but I still want to go to law school.
Oh, yeah.
But it's really interesting because political science is one of the couple of majors where it has like 5 different options, and only political science majors like talk to each other about which option are you doing. Right.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, we are. It's kind of a geeky club, I think, honestly. And I'm totally cool. I love it. But yeah, I was on my way to law school when I graduated. That was in 2010. But I was a sitting county commissioner, and I still had 2 years left on my term. So I was not going to resign. So I could go to law school. That wasn't something I wanted to do. But I didn't end up going to law school. I ended up keeping the career that I had at the time, which was in restaurant management. So I've run a lot of restaurants. I've run a lot of businesses for folks over 30 years now. So I've got plenty of background there and experience, which I lean on a lot. And who knows, law school might still be there one day. Why not?
Yeah, I remember we had in my law club there was like some Harvard guys that came in, and we were asking about like the students, and they said like there's students that are in like their 60s and 70s that come to law school. Also,
Yeah.
I work in a restaurant down in South Carolina,
Oh, cool.
and I always like to like joke with my managers, but like I see them stressing out sometimes. Like I know it can get very, very complicated. Like
Yes.
they have like their iPad and like they're trying to order more like liquor and pizza supplies and stuff, and it's just like I see just like negative signs and just like it's. I just
Yes.
answer the phones and I get to joke around,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they can honestly be watching this. I don't know, it'd be
Yeah.
funny,
Yeah.
but it's complicated.
Yeah.
And then I mean, you're not doing that, but still managing like Habitat for Humanity, and then just also being mayor of Boone. I gotta feel like, is that something when if someone comes into the Habitat for Humanity
Mhm.
and they meet you
Mhm.
and you just kind of casually drop, oh yeah, I'm just also the mayor of Boone. Is that something that like shocks people or?
Sometimes,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot. A lot of folks recognize me already.
Yeah.
But for those who don't, yeah, and I'm having a conversation, and they may say something like, gosh, you look really familiar. I can't put it. And I'll have like a ball cap on and just t-shirt. I mean,
You're not gonna have the Tim Futrelle mayor of Boone.
No.
Just, you don't wear that like all the time.
No, I mean, I'm just running around a warehouse trying to help
Yeah.
people move stuff around and build houses. So. But yeah, it does. It's funny too when I see folks' reaction to when I'm Boone, and I'm like, hey, yes, I am the mayor of Boone, but I'm also doing this, and I'm just like you. So I appreciate the reaction that folks have, and of course it's very humbling and very flattering. But I mean, I'm just a guy sitting here doing the best I can, like everybody else. So small town mayors, big city mayors, they all live, breathe, and do the same things all day.
Yeah.
So
some get arrested for bribery.
Some do. Yes.
Mayor Patrick Cannon used to be
man.
my neighbor. Well, still is.
Yeah.
He was the mayor of Charlotte in like 2013, 14.
Yeah.
He got arrested for bribery, and I came home from school and there was just helicopters and the FBI inside my house.
Gosh.
But like he was just a normal guy, so it's just like whenever, and again, he was the mayor of Charlotte, so it's like big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I like meet anyone in like politics, I always just say that it's just like it's such a fun story.
Yeah. They
So
also make bad decisions.
yeah. We say that in my class, the most amount of corruption in government is always at the local level, especially in like smaller towns where you just have like a sheriff that runs the town, where it's just like it's so easy to do stuff like that, and compared to the federal government.
I see that because there some of the relationships are so personal and they run so long and for so deep, and people are just like, oh yeah, I can do that for you, or would you like for me to do this or whatever. And I've gotten, I would be lying if I said folks haven't offered me things, but I can't do that. I just can't do it myself. And I hope, what I aspire to is the type of mayor that I would want, and I hope that everyone else finds that in themselves too when they're trying to make those decisions. But
well, guys, if you're watching, if you want to be a mayor, be him. Don't be Patrick Cannon. Kind of along that line.
Patrick had a hard time.
I always, especially if I'm interviewing like a politician,
Mm-hmm.
If you consider yourself a politician, it's weird that it's like
I like public servant. But that's okay
it's
too.
become such like a label in modern just. But I like to ask this, where it's, do you have any future goals or projects, either government, personal, that you would like to share?
So government-wise, no. Personally, I don't. Funny thing happened on the way to class one afternoon, and I was a political science major, and I was affiliated with the local political party, and I would go to college Democrats meetings.
Yeah.
And so I was going to one of these meetings, and I was approached by a local party leader here who said that they thought that they would need me to run. And of course, my initial reaction was, from who? And they said, no, really. And I was like, okay, what are you talking about? And so that's how I became a county commissioner.
Yeah.
So
you were still in school, right?
I was still a student. I
So
was the
saw-
youngest elected county commissioner
Really?
in North Carolina state history at the time.
How old were you?
I was 32.
Yeah, that's
I
crazy.
could do that. I should be able to do that math, but that's, yeah.
Because I saw that, I don't know where I saw it. I think it was just like on your biography. You went to Cowboy Community College,
Mhm.
and then I love that school. I drive by it every time I go back, and it makes me so happy because it's exactly what we need.
It was really nice and fun, actually.
It's like I see the truck driving classes, like that's amazing, right?
Oh, yeah.
But then I saw that you went to here, and I said graduated 2010, but then it also said county commissioner in 2008. I was like, that's some interesting math there. It's like you're a sitting commissioner and
Yes.
you're a student. Is that
Yes.
was that like something that was like hard to do, or was that just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it was very hard. That was, gosh, I can't think of a time that I was busier.
Yeah.
I was managing a corporate restaurant full time.
Really?
I was a sitting county commissioner, and I was a full time student trying to graduate with a. Yeah.
I think I mean your political science professors would probably
Oh my gosh.
be really they'd be like,
They were kind of mind blown and thankfully very understanding at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I needed every bit of grace now that was a time where I took on too much and so now I have been able to winnow that down some. But in 2021 I received a phone call from a mayor who's very dear to me, a former mayor here from Boone, and she asked me, if I would consider running for mayor. My political future, honestly, the way I see it is, it's not up to me. Really, I think I truly look at it as public service, and so I think that if I'm asked to consider it again, I will. I do enjoy it. I like what I do. It's a lot of work, though. And if you want to do it right, you got to spend time on it. But so I don't know politically what I'm going to do. I know for one thing, I'm going to have fun raising my kids.
Yeah, that's always like the really most important thing.
Mm-hmm. Business-wise, I don't know. I'm enjoying the restore, so we'll see how that goes. I don't have plans to do anything else right now. But yeah, so I'm just kind of.
I mean, sometimes that's just where like you're at a point where you have three big things: this, the other job, and then your family, and you're here. So like, there's no point to plan when you got here right now.
Else do I need? Yeah.
Like me, I do a lot of planning, but I'm in college, so
Yeah.
planning is where you got to do. Okay, so this is the last
I
question.
still do a lot of planning, but I'm also very realistic about
So
it.
this is the last question, and this is me and a couple of my friends, political science major. I don't know what poli-sci. That's what I'm doing.
A lot of policy.
We have a lot of interest in like running for stuff.
Yes.
So I told them, he's like, whenever you interview someone that's elected, ask this question. So lastly, what advice do you have for someone who wants to work in local government?
Really look within yourself and see why you want to do it, and make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. I'm not saying anyone should question their own morality, but I mean, just really look at why you want to do it. Is there something about being an important person that's intriguing to you, or you find maybe enticing in some way? Do you feel a sense of greater purpose? Are you really interested in being invested in the community and the people around you? Do you really want to help people? Because that's a big thing. And then read policy, read law. I'm a geek in that way. A lot of folks do think it's weird, but I will read law and policy, and I think it's interesting.
I mean, it's good to have people that are elected that understand because politics, and especially holding office, is really just laws, right? And if you don't understand laws,
Well, that's why we have so many lawyers doing it, because they are able to navigate the system. Go and meet with folks. Go to meetings, go to council meetings, go to board meetings, go to commission and go to the General Assembly. Go there for a day or two or whatever and see what's happening there. Get yourself into it as much as you have time for and you're comfortable with, and make sure that that's where you want to be, because you don't want to get stuck.
Yeah.
And you definitely don't want to get stuck when there's so much more than just yourself on the line.
Yeah.
With the stuff that you're dealing with.
Because you're especially like running is a whole thing, and in my mind it's like you have governing and you have running, and governing takes a serious person, lawyer, but then running is like it's a whole different aspect. It's like for show and everything. So it's like you can run and everything like that, and you have people looking up to you, but then once you actually get elected, like some people get elected and they're like, oh crap, like I actually have to do the job.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
It's like a lot of pressure. So yeah,
it is. Yeah, and it's it's also running for office is really hard.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time commitment. There's a lot of money, unfortunately, in it.
Yeah.
I really hate that aspect of it, but it is what it is at this point. And until we change it, of course, we always have that choice. So know that that's hard and that's a lot of pressure and stress, right? But when the real work comes, if you're fortunate enough to do the work, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So it's more than just running for office and winning. It's more than just being an important person. It's about really being willing to take your time and energy, the most important thing you have, and share it and invest in the community with everybody else.
Awesome. So I think we're going to end that there. So this was the interview with Mayor Futrelle. Nice 45-minute interview, but
nice.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Good.
I'll get this. I'll have the main video posted, and then I'll have the extra thing. I can just text it to you.
Awesome.
So yeah, awesome.
Well, yeah.
I like to do the
much,
handshake
Chris.
with the
No,
camera.
that's awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for asking me to